The Democratic Party is either silent or tacitly sanctions the rioting. Presumptive presidential candidate Joe Biden made a prepared speech in Philadelphia concerning the civil unrest surrounding the death of George Floyd. Initially, Biden condemned violence in general terms.
There's no place for violence, no place for looting or destroying property or burning churches or destroying businesses, many of them built by the very people of color who were the first time in their lives were beginning to realize their dreams and build wealth for their families.
But then, he immediately segues into condemning the police for escalating the tension and using excessive violence. Biden believes that the police cannot distinguish between legitimate peaceful protests and opportunistic violence and destruction.
Nor is it acceptable for our police, sworn to protect and serve all people, to escalate tension, resort to excessive violence. We need to distinguish between legitimate peaceful protests and opportunistic violent destruction.
Parsing Biden's message about the violence is that the police are to blame for escalating justified peaceful protest into rampant and destructive rage. Of course, he knows better. Behind the scenes, members of his staff are quietly making donations to a group that helps Minneapolis protesters get out of jail on bail. Needless to say, these protesters were in jail for a reason. They were not peaceful protesters, but violent agitators. The Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, when asked about the toppling of the Christopher Columbus statue in Baltimore, not only did not condemn the mob that first toppled the statue and threw it into the Inner Harbor, but dismissed the incident by saying, "People will do what they do." Pelosi further suggested that statues are a community issue, equating the mob action with a community decision.
Again, if the community doesn't want the statue there, the statue shouldn't be there. That doesn't diminish my pride in my Italian-American heritage and the fact that it was a country discovered by an Italian, named for an Italian, Amerigo Vespucci. So I have that pride, but I don't care that much about statues.
Shouldn't that be done by a commission or the city council, not a mob in the middle of the night throwing it into the harbor?
People will do what they do.
It is Black Lives Matter that is driving the movement to defund and eventually abolish the police. In fact, the leader of BLM in Philadelphia has developed a 5-year plan to completely abolish police nationwide. The police must go, since they are, in her words, centered around the ruling class and are an extension of the system of oppression. If this sounds Marxist, that's because it is. Lenin declared that Soviet power would be a new type of state without bureaucracy or police. The working people would be the legislator and the executive authority. Indeed, in the first month of the Russian Revolution, following Lenin's dictum, the police and courts were abolished. BLM, like the conspiracy they are a part of, is an international movement. It is not surprising, therefore, to learn that Black Lives Matter UK is also demanding the defunding of the police.
As thousands in the UK chant the name of George Floyd, another call from protesters in the US is being echoed across the Atlantic.
We must defund the policing system.
Defund the police.
Like disarming the public by taking away Second Amendment rights, abolishing the police removes the protective wall between the citizenry and the violent mob. More importantly, if there is no armed force, such as the police, the Marxist revolution can move forward without significant impediment.